Alright, I'm going to do a demonstration on creating the sketch with the constraints and then making the solid with this profile. It will have two pockets in a plate, and I'm going to do this all in one sketch. So we're going to use pad and pocket features, but only the one sketch, and how I constrain this. Now, in my class I always suggest to look at your sketch. Your drawing can pretty much mimic your sketch constraints when you dimension it, but it doesn't always land perfect, and I don't necessarily change the constraints to match what I want on the drawings. I just know which ones I would do. For this example, if I were going to create the drawing, I would use all the dimensions or all the constraints with the exception of this one and this one. Do you know what I would do different? I would keep this chained because I want to control the size of my pockets. I would keep this one because I want to control the distance from here to here for my first pocket. I would keep this one because I want to keep the distance between the pockets, which is called the web. I want that web to be 1 inch. So I don't really care what happens out here, but I want to make sure I have the right length. So in the drawing, I would know to dimension from this line to this line. If I wanted to, I could delete that and add that constraint, but it's fully constrained. I'm not going to literally use that as my dimension. Okay, if I was, then yeah, I would go ahead and put it in, but if I know what I'm doing, then I don't have to fix it here. It's just duplicating my work. Now, I would leave this here for here, this sketch. We're fine with that, but in the drawing, you want to dimension from the datum to here. I'm presuming that's my datum because I located it on this axis here. So this would be not off the datum here. So why would you create a dimension not off the datum? We told the machine shop or whoever, dimension everything off of this line and dimension everything off of this line, and then we go and dimension off of this. So on the drawing, I really would put the dimension from the datum to this edge. Okay, so I'll demo how I did that just real quickly, and then we can move on to making the solid. We'll make a part, and in that part we'll go into the sketch on the XY plane. I always like to get the view, where's that thing, normal view. That's ironic, it went horizontal this time. That's great. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my grid to make it helpful for me to see, and I'm going to go to the rectangle. Now double click on it. I'm just going to come up here. Yeah, I'll start here and then make sure I go up enough. I think mine was 3 inches by 4 inches. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually creating the inside pocket first. Sometimes I find it easier to get the inside and then generate the outside after the fact. I could go up from this corner diagonally this much and then go down to this corner. And we're going to go diagonally there. Now I just created it so I maintain a 1/2 inch wall thickness all the way around this. Did I go 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 inch thickness. I was using my grid to help me make that easy to sketch. I can turn this off. Just to make that easier for you guys to see, I will go to the properties and beef up the line weight. Alright, next step, highlight the profile and use the auto constraints. So we're going to use the auto constraint icon, reference these two lines. I find it works better if I establish the datums which are these two lines, also on CATIA known as the reference elements or fixed elements. So I've got those two highlighted, so it should start chaining starting from these two lines. I'll leave it in the chain mode and just say OK. I'm going to go to contact, and I'm going to contact this to the axis, contact this to the axis. Okay, and that's how I did it. Now you should move all your dimensions out, make them all pretty, like I had over here. But I'm going to continue on just to make the pad. So pretend like I've made it everything all pretty, move the dimensions around. Now we'll go ahead and create the solid with, I got to turn the tree on here, so I'm going to hit F3 to turn my tree on. Oh, look what I did. I put the sketch in the geometrical set. I want that in the part body. Now, make sure the sketch is not active. That enables me to use the pad option, go to profile definition. Under go to profile definition, you want to make sure sub-elements is active. Select the outside profile, select OK. What I like to do is just go reverse, and I'll make this 7.5 thick plate. Now, that plate is 75 thick. Bear that in mind. We're going to go to pocket, go to profile definition, and sub-element. I can grab this one, and I could grab this one all at the same time, and it will just do it all at once. Now I'm going to try and show you what to do if you forgot. So I'll select OK. And what I like to do is maintain the bottom thickness of the plate to the bottom of the pocket by going to up to last. If I say up to last and hit preview, what it does, it's going to go all the way through the bottom of that part. So if I do an offset of 1/4 inch and hit tab, it actually goes through the bottom of the part. So what I'll do is change that to a negative offset and preview that. And now I'm giving myself 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, meaning the pocket should be a 1/2 inch deep. And I will select OK to that. No, okay, let's say I selected OK to that. All right, and I realized, oh shoot, I could have done that all in one step. How do I modify that pocket to add another pocket instead of having two pockets in the tree? What I'm saying is I don't want to go to pocket, go to profile definition, and grab this one, select OK, up to last, negative 0.25. Okay, it's not that you can't have that, but I like to keep the tree as clean as possible, the fewest amount of steps. So when I do my edit scan, someone would see, oh, he created a pocket, and then he created that pocket, and he started with the pad. Came over here, made that pocket, and then made that pocket. Okay, I'm gonna let's exit out of this, and then let's say I was at the point where I had pocket 1 and I really wanted to get pocket 2 in there. What I could do is double click this. How do you modify anything on CATIA? You simply double click it. Where it says complex contour, okay, you can click on this and go to profile definition, and then here it's already got that sketch sub-elements. I should be able to click on this and it just adds that sketch to that list. Select OK, select OK, and now I've got one pad, 2 pockets, and 1 feature. And I expand the tree, and you see I have just 1 sketch. I find it a lot easier to control everything in a single sketch. If I want to change anything about this, if I want to move this pocket, no problem. I go into this sketch and I edit that dimension, and I can see how everything is related to each other. Okay, all in one view. I just find it a lot easier to work in one view like this, where I can control my dimensions and see how I'm affecting one pocket to the part, or from pocket to pocket. Alright, again, this technique is called the sub-elements. And let's see if I'll try and undo that. Just okay. So again, if you forgot, you double click the pocket right here where it says complex. You have the sketch. I can get in there and modify the sketch. Right here you have the triple dot. I can click on the triple dot and it'll allow me to go to that profile. It only has that one single sketch in it. I'll just click below it and hit the next sub-element, which would be this closed domain in here. Select OK. It remembers to, it does the same for both. That's another thing I like. If I say OK right now, if I turn this view to hidden line, you see that the bottom of the wall, or the bottom of the pocket, is a 1/4 inch off the bottom. And if I were to change the pad to be 1.5 inches, it knows to move both pockets. If I were to change the pocket to -0.5, you see that both will shift all at once. So I don't have to do it twice because they're all in one feature. Alright, I'm going to put this back to, let's say, 1 inch. And sorry, I double clicked the sketch there. Let's double click the pocket and I'll do -2.5. Alright, so that's how I created my sketch and my solid with just one single sketch using sub-elements.